Hey folks, it's Russ. Today is Wednesday, December 31st, 2025, the last day of 2025. I can't believe it, but I hope you're all having a great day. Tonight, I'm going to talk to you about why I'm not starting over in 2026 and the lessons that I learned in 2025. But before I get into it, I just want to make sure that everything is streaming properly on my end. So as always, if you're tuning in, let me know where you're tuning in from. If you're watching the replay, use hashtag replay. Please consider giving me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're over on my YouTube, and click that notification bell so you're notified each and every time I upload a new video. All of that helps me out a lot, and I greatly appreciate it. I don't expect too many people to be on here live tonight simply because it's, New Year's Eve. Most people are out having a good time, and that's what we used to do when we were younger. But now our children are both adults, and, we'll watch the ball drop here at midnight. But I'm working on building my empire. So, and really, there's no reason not to take action on a holiday, right? So let me see here. Nikki is watching from work. How you doing, Nikki? Thanks for hopping on here, brother. Happy New Year. How you doing, Mark? Thanks for hopping on here, brother. Happy New Year. Appreciate each and every one of you. And all right, everything's streaming properly. So I just wanted to hop on here, do one more video for 2025. It's been a really fun year, a really exciting year. A lot of good things have happened, along with some other, not so good things. Like that's normal in life. But as far as business goes, everything has been great. So I put together a little slideshow. I'm going to go through that, and then I'm going to show you exactly what I've been doing and how you can replicate what I do. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen here. Anthony, Happy New Year. Thanks for hopping on here, brother. Appreciate you. John, thanks for hopping on here. I appreciate you. So I'm going to share my screen here. And if any of you have questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Even if you're watching this, the replay, I'll get back to you. So we're going to go into presentation mode here. And I just want to make sure that this kicks over properly. So just bear with me for a minute. All right, I trust everybody can see this. So it says why I'm not starting over in 2026. Lessons from 2025. How you doing, Dave? Thanks for hopping on here, brother. Appreciate you. All right, so my opening thought is I'm not doing new year, new me. All right, I'm continuing what works. And the reason for that is because most people fail because they restart instead of recommit, okay? So everybody wants to, reinvent the wheel because it's a new year. And you don't have to do that. I see it so often with all the people that I work with. Not all the people, but a lot of the people that I work with. They always want to start something new, right? But instead of starting new, just recommit to what it is you're already doing. Because every time you start something new, you're literally restarting, right? And why would you want to restart something when you've been putting in work into something that, I hope I'm making sense, right? Stop restarting things and recommit to what it is you're already doing. Okay? So real progress doesn't come from starting over, right? It comes from continuing what works. And that's what this is all about, continuing what works. So lesson number one that I learned in 2025 is consistency beats motivation, right? Showing up daily beats feeling fired up once in a while. And even when you don't feel motivated, showing up daily creates far better results than waiting to feel fired up, right? So they kind of say by showing up every day, you build momentum, and that momentum leads to motivation. And once you have motivation, once you start getting results, you're going to want to show up every day no matter what. Okay? Most people think you have to be motivated to go and do something, but it's quite the opposite, right? You want to stay consistent. You start getting results, that builds momentum. That momentum turns into motivation, and that motivation carries you to showing up every day and turning you into a beast marketer. All right. And that's what I feel like I've become over this past year, is just showing. This year, by far, I've showed up more than all the other years combined. Okay. And by me doing that, I've had the best year that I've ever had as far as my online marketing business, right? The best year I've ever had. And I'm going to show you exactly what I did to bring in 142 personal referrals into my business opportunities this year. All right. And who knows? We still have a couple hours left. I could bring in 104. I could bring in one or two more people. We never know. But 142 personal referrals into my business opportunities so far this year. And the number one reason why that happened is by me showing up every single day, even when I didn't feel like it. Okay. Because there's times that I don't, there's times I don't even want to be on my phone, to be honest with you. But by showing up every day, you're ahead of 99% of the people, because most people don't want to do any work. Lesson number 2, Mailbox Money is built with systems and not hype. All right. Mailbox Money is built with systems and not hype. I see so many people, they look so desperate, posting 100 posts a day, trying to get sales, complaining and crying that they're not making any money. But you know what they don't have? They don't have set up are systems that do all the selling and telling for you. All right, I'm going to show you after this slideshow exactly what it is I do. And for each of my opportunities that I'm a part of, I have systems in place that do the selling and telling for me. So my only job is to get people over to my systems, have the people enter their name and email into my systems. The systems take over and do all the selling and telling for me. That's how it works. That's what works. Not all these hypey posts about, whatever it is they're trying to sell. You have to have systems in place. Okay? And I'm not saying don't show results. I show not all my results, but I show a lot of my results. Right? Because people want to work with people who are not just talking the talk, but actually walking the walk. Right? And that's what I do. So I show some of my results so that people know that I'm real. And I'm not just trying to make sales, right? You have to stop thinking about or stop putting sales first and start putting helping people first, and then the sales will follow. Lesson number 3, focus beats shiny objects, right? So the fewer things done better. Or like they always say, less is more, right? Less is more. But stop the shiny object syndrome. And the reason I'm allowed to talk about shiny object syndrome is because the first 10 years of my marketing journey, I had shiny object syndrome. Okay. And for those of you who don't know, maybe this is your first time listening to me. 2026 will be my 20th year in the online marketing space. Okay. I grew up around, my father was an entrepreneur. Him and our grade school principal, they were partners in NSA water filters, right? They used to have the in living room, demonstrations and all that stuff. I grew up around marketing. All right. My father was a successful businessman, and he did NSA water filters and a bunch of other stuff. But so I grew up around it. But this will be my 20th year in the industry myself, and I've been doing this full time since 2018. But the first 10 years, I jumped from program to program to program to program to program to program to program. Right? I make a sale here, make a sale there, but I never stuck with anything long enough to build on a reliable residual income. Okay? And it wasn't until I got rid of the shiny objects and I started focusing on one opportunity that I was able to build up a monthly residual to where I was able to go and work full time for myself. Right? And that was in April of 2018. How you doing, JJ? Thanks for hopping on here. How you doing, Justin? Thanks for hopping on here. Appreciate you both. So get rid of the shiny object syndrome, all right? Find a product, a service, or an opportunity that you're passionate about that you can stand behind 100% and focus on building that business. And you know what? It doesn't matter how long the business opportunity has been around. All right. I hear a lot of people all the time, oh, that business has been around for 10 years. It's already saturated. One of my mentors, Brian Carruthers, who is the #1 earner in Legal Shield, joined Legal Shield when it was in its 26th year in business. And everybody was like, what are you doing, Brian? It's totally saturated. You're never going to make any money. He ignored that. He's the #1 earner today. He makes over $2 million a year. And what he did his first 10 years was he brought in an average of 120 new personal referrals into Legal Shield every year for 10 years straight. So my goal this year was to do 120, and I ended up with 142. And I'm not doing anything that's hard to do other than showing up every day, taking action, and staying consistent. And I ditched the shiny object syndrome. And I'll show you what programs that I'm working with at the end of this. So what I'm carrying into 2026 are simple systems that do all the selling and telling for me, showing up daily and taking action, and having patience, knowing that I'm not going to build any empire overnight. You have to have patience. You have to have a long-term growth mindset when it comes to building an empire, right? You're not going to join a program and make $10,000 in your first month. Some of you might. You know, if you have a big following, or if you're, you know, if you've been down the road before and you know what you're doing, it's possible. But I would say 98%, 99% of people will never do that in their first month, right? It's going to take time. So that is what I'm carrying into 2026. Now, what I'm leaving in 2025 is overthinking things, rushing results. This goes back to patience, and distractions. Okay, because I'll be honest, there's sometimes I still get emails from all kinds of people every day, or I get Facebook messages, check this out, check that out, and my curiosity gets to me sometimes, and I go and I look at these things and I think, wow, this could be something really cool. But then I remind myself what I'm teaching everybody, and I have to stay true to I'm staying true to everybody and to myself. I'm not jumping from program to program to program. Right? I found my programs now. In 2025, I found my programs. And I'll tell you what they are at the end of this. But this is what I'm leaving behind. Overthinking things. Because I'm a critical thinker, you know. I analyze everything to death sometimes. And there's benefits to that, but there's a lot of cons to it as well. So I'm going to stop overthinking. I'm going to stop rushing results, which goes back to patience. And I'm going to get rid of all the distractions. So I just want to thank each and every one of you. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. Everyone in this community, everyone who shows up, everyone who's put their trust in me, everyone who likes my videos and comments on my videos and stays connected with me. I appreciate each and every one of you. All right. You guys and girls all mean a lot to me, and I just appreciate it. So, thank you. I really, really mean that. I'm doing this for my family, to build freedom and something that lasts, generational wealth. All right. So I'm doing it for my family, to build time freedom and to build something that lasts, so that I know that when I'm not here, my family's going to be taken care of. My daughters are going to be taken care of. Tina's going to be taken care of. My future grandchildren are going to be taken care of. That's why I do this. That's why I show up every day. And for everybody out there who says their why is their family, and I see you jumping from program to program to program, you need to reevaluate your why. All right? Because if you're truly doing this for your family, you won't give up on yourself. And you'll have patience. And you'll have the understanding and the mindset to know that you're not going to build an empire overnight. And that some days suck. And that some days you don't want to show up. And some days you don't want to be on your phone. And some days you don't want to make a video. And some days you don't even want to do a post. But these are the things that you have to do if you're going to build an empire. And if you're doing it for your family, there's no excuse not to show up every day. Right? Because we hear it all. I'm tired. I don't feel good. I don't want to make a video. I'm afraid to get on and make a video. Stop doing that stuff, because I'm just a normal person. And I know there's a lot of people out here watching this who have far bigger empires than I have. But I also know that a lot of you are afraid to get out of your fear box. right? But that's where success lives. Success lives on the other side of the fear box, outside of the fear box. So you have to start doing things that you don't feel comfortable doing if you're going to build an empire, right? And I know all about this because I used to sweat doing live videos. When I first started doing videos, I would panic. Tina can attest to this. She'd be like, "What's the matter?" I'm like, I'm going to go do a live video. And I'd be like sweating and I'd be sick to my stomach and I didn't want to do it because I was nervous. But the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. And it just becomes second nature, right? So if you do something for 30 days, it'll become a part of your daily routine. So when I work with people, I said, listen, instead of doing it for 30 days, commit to doing it for 90 days. And if you do something for 90 days, you're going to be showing up every single day, whether you feel like it or not, right? Unless you can't get out of bed. And, I always talk about Kobe Bryant because they said how, they always talked about his work ethic. And even when he went on family vacations during the off season, he would find a gym or somewhere to work out. And he would show up every day and work out even on family vacations. And the only time that he didn't work out was when he couldn't walk. So there's no excuse to not show up every single day. So this is my promise for 2026. I'm going to continue showing up for you guys and girls, all of you who watch me. I'm going to continue to be honest. I'm going to continue to show my results. And I'm going to continue to just be who I am and continue to do what I do. No hype, just results. Right? I'm going to show up because that's what winners do. That's what winners do. Losers quit. Losers quit. But I'm going to show up every single day. So Lord willing and the creek don't rise, I'm going to be here every single day, putting content on Facebook and YouTube, showing up, trying to share my results, and show everybody what works. Okay? So this is my final thought. You don't need a new year. You need a steady plan. Okay? Read that again. You don't need a new year. You need a steady plan. And I'm going to show you exactly what my plan or what I do every day to get the results that I get. So let me just go over here. I'm going to go through these comments really quick. Hey, thanks, Mark. I appreciate you. Thanks, John. I appreciate you. Ziz, Happy New Year. Stay blessed. Same to you. Thank you very much for being on here. I appreciate you. John says, I've seen people jump from program to program for 40 plus years and still haven't learned. I see it all the time. Okay. I haven't been in it as long as you, John, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I used to be that person. Somebody would share something with me and I'd be like, wow, I'm going to go check this out. I'd promote it for a little bit, make a little bit of money, get bored, tired of it. The next thing would come into my inbox. I'd go jump on that. And like I said, I'd make a little bit of money here and there. Nothing to ever write home about. Certainly nothing that would ever allow me to quit my 9-to-5 job that I had at the time. Right. But that's what I see it all the time. People, they join a program. They get so excited. They light up my phone with questions, which I'm always happy to answer. And then 2 or 3 weeks go by. I check in with them. They've moved on to something else. Why did you quit that? I thought you were excited about that. Well, I wasn't making any money. Then you go look at their Facebook wall. There's nothing there. It's like crickets, right? Or it's political stuff or religious stuff. I'm not against any of that stuff. But if you're building a business, I was always taught by people who are 6 and 7, 8-figure earners, you don't want to fill up your wall with political and religious stuff because automatically you're taking half of your potential customers off the table. Okay. So it's just, you just have to find something that resonates with you, a product or service you can get behind. Like they say, become a product of the product, right? And stay focused on that. Stop jumping all around. How you doing, Tina? Thanks for watching. Tina's out in the living room watching, but I appreciate you. So now I'm going to show you exactly what I do, okay? The first thing I do is I have a calendar right here on my wall, okay? Right here on my wall. I have my 2026 calendar getting ready to go up after I make this video because I keep track of everything. All right. I'm a numbers guy. I'm just a numbers guy. You know, I keep track of everything. Then I have my Empire Builders book for 2026. Now, this is a planner designed specifically for marketers that has every single thing that you can possibly think of in it. You know, your whys, your goals for the day. It has everything. All right. So I have that ready to go. And I keep track of everything. I have letters here ready to go for Friday. I was putting these together today. All right. They're going to go out in the mail on Friday. And I keep track of everything. And so that's the first thing I do. But let me show you here. I'm going to share my screen again and show you exactly what it is I do and what I did. Well, actually, before that, well, so yeah, okay, let me just do this. Let me go back here, bring out the old whiteboard here. All right, so this is exactly what I do, okay? And I'll show you these pages here in a minute. But I have my main page is joinruss.com, okay? You want to brand yourself going into the new year if you're not doing this already. All right, and I was part of 2 months of Gary V. If you don't know who Gary V is, go look him up. But I joined some of his training. All right, so I had 8 calls with some other people with Gary Vaynerchuk. You want to be branding yourself if you're not doing that already, okay? So what I do is I have a page, joinruss.com, and this has all of my info. So it has a picture of me. It has my contact information. It has a giveaway that I have, my 3-step wealth system giveaway. And then it has my other programs, okay? This is my main page. This is where I send everybody, like all my link. My link on my Facebook is Join Russ. My link on my YouTube channel is Join Russ. I send everybody, you know, in my video descriptions on YouTube, it goes over to my Join Russ page. That's my main thing. All right. This is my main hub, if you want to call it that. And what I do is I use direct mail. That's right. Direct mail. It still works. Okay. I love direct mail. It converts really well for me. And it works. And in my direct mail, I send people over to my Join Russ page. Right? That's the letters that I just showed you. Okay. Here's a stack of them. All right. I put these out. I send these out most every day during the week. Always every week. Okay. And I just have, I mean, like, if you saw this side of my office, it's like a print factory over here. All right. I do a lot of direct mail because direct mail still works. It's been around since the 1860s. And, you know, it really, if you know what you're doing with direct mail, it works. Okay. And Tina's tuning in from the living room. So that's what I do. All right. Send people over to my Join Russ page. The next thing I do is I create content on Facebook. Okay. So this could be stuff going on in my personal life, stuff going on, you know, if I get results, I'll share my results, you know, share stuff about our daughters, about our, you know, my wife and I have 5 cats and a sun conure. We share stuff about that. You know, if we go on rides, if we go out to, you know, have some good food somewhere, I basically share stuff about my life, right? But on my Facebook, you'll see my Facebook cover and my Facebook bio has a link to Join Russ. Okay. And then I focus on YouTube. So I create videos and shorts, and I do lives on Facebook and YouTube as well, like I'm doing right now. But again, in my video descriptions, I have links to Join Russ. My YouTube banner is Join Russ, just like my Facebook cover is Join Russ. And it just directs everybody over here. Okay, now if I'm making a video about, say, QuickSilver or Home Business Academy, I'll have links to that in the video as well. But generally, I'll send everybody over to join Russ. Okay, that is all that I do, folks. I don't pay for leads. I don't do solo ads. Well, I do pay for leads for my direct mail. Okay, but I don't do online solo ads. As far as online goes, I stick to Facebook and YouTube. And the reason I use Facebook and YouTube is because they're the second and third most visited sites after Google. Right? So you have everybody, you have your entire world audience on Facebook and YouTube. Okay? And Facebook I use for more short-term exposure, because a post that usually shows up in the algorithm for 24 to 48 hours maybe. And YouTube is more for longer exposure, right? If I make a YouTube video, that's going to be up on YouTube until I decide to take it down. Okay? So that is what I focus on. And then direct mail, like I said, I don't know if you live in another country, I don't know the laws there. I know in Canada, I think you have to opt in to receive direct mail, whereas here in the United States, you can send direct mail to people and they can opt out if they choose to. But direct mail works, folks. Like I said, it's been around since the 1800s. And there's very little competition when it comes to direct mail. And 95% of all letters that you send out or postcards or flyers get delivered. Right? And people end up passing away. So sometimes you have people on your list that unfortunately have passed away or they don't live at the address anymore. They say that 5% of the population is always moving at any given time. But I get great returns doing direct mail, right? And I send people over to join Russ. That's all that I do. Okay? And again, I brought in 142 personal referrals into my business opportunities this year just by doing what I just showed you, just by doing these things right here. Direct mail, Facebook content, YouTube content, sending people over to join Russ. And I'll show you exactly what join Russ looks like. All right, this is what join Russ looks like. Okay, so you can see here, Russ Fi, right? I keep my pictures the same on Facebook, YouTube, and over here on this right here. All the same pictures so people know who the hell they're looking at or it's not an AI generated photo or a cartoon image or anything like that. It's a real picture of me. I just removed the background. How you doing, Jeff? Thanks for hopping on here. I appreciate you. How you doing, Mark? Thanks for hopping on here. I appreciate you. And it says helping burned out 9-to-5 workers build mailbox money and real freedom, right? Over here, I have I give away my 3-step system to build income from home, right? So this, I'm building a list here. All right, I call this my Silver Freedom Alliance Quick Start Guide. So people can get that. Then I have join the community, right? So this is my new Facebook group that I started, Silver Freedom Alliance. I have some Silver Freedom Alliance gear here, hats, shirts, mugs. And then down here, I have a link to Home Business Academy, which goes to a capture page. The systems that I was talking to you about earlier. And I have my QuickSilver program, which goes to another capture page. All right, these are my 2 platforms right here. And then I have my additional direct mail opportunities right here, right? Because I'm still part of a bunch of direct mail programs that just continue to pay me month after month. And then I have resources that I recommend. All right, so this is like the hub of everything. And it's just simple. It's just simple. And it doesn't look, people can come over here. They can check it out. They can send me an email if they have a question. They can find me on Facebook or YouTube. They can go and check out my other opportunities. And they can decide if what I'm doing is something that resonates with them or not. Right? That's what I do. That's all I do. Okay? And the only thing I do different from most people is I just show up every day. Most people don't even show up every day. But this is my business foundation right here. All right. Home Business Academy. All right. We have, there's 4 different products here in the lineup. All right. We have a Let's Goal app, which is awesome. All right. It gives you a good morning routine, gratitude practice, prayer, meditation, reminders, a digital vision board, a journal. It has everything here. All right. This is helping me structure my days better. All right. Because basically what I do is I wake up in the morning. All right. The first thing I do is pray. Just give thanks to, call it God, call it whatever you want. All right. My higher power. I thank my higher power for blessing me with another day to be here to continue building my empire. All right. And then I read, usually 15 to 30 minutes. And then I go and I jump on the treadmill and I walk for 30 minutes. Okay. And then I'll check my emails and get going with whatever it is that I'm doing for my business or whatever it is I'm doing for the day. All right. But this Let's Goal app, it's really neat. All right. It helps me keep track of everything. So we have that. Then we have the HBA funnel builder. All right. And with this, you can build capture pages, thank you pages, sales pages, order checkout pages, digital products, membership sites, everything. Then we have HBA Premium, which is Traffic and Conversions Academy, where you learn how to generate traffic and leads online. Okay. Very, very powerful stuff. And with this, we also have daily growth mindset calls. All right. So I'm usually walking on the treadmill and listening to these morning calls. All right. It's just a great way to start your day, full of positivity, motivation, things that you can actually apply to your personal life, your business life, just invaluable information. Okay. And then our 4th product is our Financial Literacy Academy. All right. And with this, you learn things about debt elimination, tax strategies for U.S. business owners, retirement planning, and you can see all the other things here. All right. Now, the cool thing about HBA is that they pay out 80% residual commissions. Okay. So our funnel builder is $25 a month. They pay you out a $20 monthly residual commission. Our app is $10 a month. They pay you $8 a month for every person that signs up under you with the app. All right. The premium is $125 a month. They pay out a $100 commission. So you can earn up to $128 a month in monthly residuals just from one person. And then if you go and sell, if somebody buys the Literacy Academy underneath you, you get a one-time $400 payment. Okay. Super powerful stuff. Super powerful. And then my main business. So I use that for, like I love the community that we have in there. And I love the training, that we get every day, live training every day. And then my main business is QuickSilver. Okay. So QuickSilver, it allows you to stack silver and gold on autopilot, right? We have what they call an auto wealth delivery, where you can have silver and gold shipped to your doorstep every single month on autopilot. And then if you want to become a wealth ambassador, you can earn up to 7 different ways by sharing the business and opportunity with other people. All right. Now, the cool thing about HBA and QuickSilver is that they both take part of their profits from every sale and they send it over to Feed My Starving Children, which is a nonprofit organization who delivers life-sustaining meals to hungry children throughout the world. All right. So you're doing charitable work by working with both of these companies, both of these opportunities, which is awesome. All right. So that's why these two, HBA and QuickSilver, resonate the best with me, because you're stacking precious metals, right? Physical silver and gold, tangible assets, hedge against inflation, real money. You're stacking that, and we're doing charitable work. All right. And then I'm using HBA for the trainings and the community to keep my mindset, to keep my personal development and mindset growing all the time. I'm always learning new things. I'm learning from other people in the group. So it's just a really great community, and it gives you all the tools that you need, with the app and with the funnel builder. It's just that's what I'm doing. All right. And that's what I'm going to continue to do going into 2026. And that's why I'm not starting anything over. Right. I'm going to move forward with HBA and QuickSilver. And I'm going to continue doing the direct mail that I've been talking about and continuing to create content on Facebook and YouTube. All right. And just have simple systems that do all the selling and telling for me. And that's it. All right. So I appreciate each and every one of you on here. All of you on here live, all of you who are watching the replay, Nikki, Mark, Anthony, Dave, JJ, Justin, Mark, John, Ziz, Tina, Jeffrey, thanks for hopping on here. Derek, how you doing, buddy? Happy New Year to you. Good to see you on here. Let's see who else. Hey, thanks for the stars, Dave. I appreciate you. I think I touched everybody that I can see on here. Yeah, thank you. Happy New Year to you, Nikki. Keep up the good work. So that's all you have to do, folks, right? You have to find something that resonates with you, something you can stand behind 1,000%, become a product of the product, show up every day, take massive action, stay consistent, and you can build an empire. You don't have to be a guru or have a list of 100,000 people or, any of that bull BS, right? All you have to do is show up every day, be passionate about it, and give it your all, right? And I hope that you can do that in 2026, because I think 2026 is going to be a great year for marketing. There's a lot of good things, especially if you're a silver stacker. I just think there's a lot of cool things that's going to happen in 2026 for all of us who take action. So I appreciate each and every one of you. I look forward to seeing you next year in my next video. And until then, stay well, be safe, and peace be with you. Thanks for watching. Happy New Year.